Well, it's interesting when fighters figure out ways to do that too, like what Floyd is doing. What Floyd is doing is so interesting. He retires from fighting and he says, "I'll just start boxing people who have no chance."
Hey, why not? You know, I mean, exhibition. Like we saw that in what was Rocky 3 or something.
Yeah,
It's like, yo, I mean, he's like, he started doing exhibitions with Hulk Hogan, and
yeah, exactly,
and got caught. I mean, he got hurt, like dealing with that. So, I mean, I think people want to see Floyd fight. Some people want to see him lose. I never wanted to see Floyd lose, and so he'll always have some interest. Even if he's fighting,
What he did is just complete genius.
Yes.
First of all, from just changing his style, right? He broke his hands a lot. So when he was younger, they called him Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yeah.
And then he changes his name to Money. And when he changes his name to Money, he turns heel.
Yeah.
He became like this guy, and everybody wanted to see him get beat.
Yeah.
And he's the most unhittable guy in the history of the sport.
Yes, sir.
He's right up there with Pernell Whitaker. Like those are the two guys that I say are like the most elusive guys in modern, past Willie Pep in modern era. Pernell Whitaker and Floyd. Floyd's even more impressive because he stands right in front of guys.
He stands right in front of you, and you can't hit
right
him.
in front of you,
and you can't get a good one on him.
You can't get shit on him.
It's one of the most amazing skill sets. He's like a one of those like Minnesota Fats kind of pool players that know all the trick shots, and you can't beat him. A guy that can play a hand or board game or ping pong.
Yeah.
You just can't beat him, and he's that way in boxing.
Yeah.
He just knows all the tricks of the trade, and he's just better.
He has way more information about where you should be where he can hit you and where he should be where you can't hit him. It's just he's got it all in his head.
He knows what punch can be thrown at what time and what punch can't. And so he just, when he knows you can't throw a punch, that's where he is. Yeah. And when he knows you can, that's where he ain't.
My favorite fight, I've had a lot of favorite fights of his, but one of my favorites was the Canelo fight because it was just a masterclass.
Yeah.
Masterclass in just a young, incredibly promising champion, a guy who's going to be an all-time great, but not yet.
Not yet.
You're not ready for that guy.
Floyd always catch him young. he catch him coming
up. Young or old.
Yeah,
like
he catch him young. Yeah, and he tap you up and then he say thank you.
Yeah.
Next.
He did a smart thing, too. He got him to cut down 152 pounds.
Yeah.
Got him a little lighter.
Yeah.
A little smaller. A little more dehydrated.
A little weaker.
Yeah, a little weaker. And then just box him up.
Yeah.
But if you see what it did to Canelo's game, like you see Canelo when he fought Danny Jacobs later on his career, he was moving like Floyd. Like he mirrored that.
You have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you dealing with a master. And when you fight a master or if I rapped against a master or if you spar against a master, you better take a few tricks of the trade with you. That's the whole thing about respecting the game.
Daniel Cormier always says you get the rub. Like when someone fights for the title and you fight a world champion, you feel what that's like okay. And you either get way better or you kind of like realize I'll never beat that guy.
You'll never get that level.
Yeah. There was like a lot of, like during the Tyson era, nobody got the rub. It was like you got in there and you were like, fuck this.
I mean, Tyson had he had so many psychological advantages.
Yes.
Everybody else, give me the pretty robe. Put this satin on the robe. I need to look. I had to have flares coming from my tassels. Have to be right. I got to look pretty coming in there. Floyd coming there, gladiator style.
Yeah, Mike had a towel over his head with a hole in it,
and no socks on. he ain't here for none of that. He just here to whoop your ass.
It was the best,
and he psychologically beat a lot of people before he even landed that fatal punch.
Oh yeah, even after the Buster Douglas fight, that didn't even take it away from him. A lot of times when a guy gets knocked out, like their aura of invincibility goes away, but with Mike, it was still there.
Yeah, because people are always scared of when you snap. Nobody want to deal with crazy. You know what I mean? Everybody could deal with everything, but, everybody get out the way of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Mike was screaming, "I'll eat your children."
Man. Yeah.
This is the walkout. Look, he's just pushing everybody
out the way. Nobody even want to give him a dap because they don't know if he gonna knock them out on his way to the ring. Yeah, this is some of the G'est shit ever.
Yeah, when
you know what I mean?
Champ.
Like, just a towel, cut the towel in half, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ain't got time for this shit. I'm ready to knock somebody the fuck out.
It was a special time in boxing because there was a long time where the heavyweight champion, Larry Holmes didn't get his due because he beat up Muhammad Ali. So everybody was always mad at Larry.
Yeah.
And then when Mike Tyson came along, it was like all of a sudden there's like a real heavyweight champion where everybody wants to see him fight.
Yeah, he was my first experience of a guy who was just, the Incredible Hulk, like go in and knock people out, 2 or 3 rounds, it's over. I grew up watching Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes and all the other fighters in between. I wasn't really, old enough to appreciate Joe Frazier or nothing like that. But when Tyson came around, he was like, oh, this is what you want in a fighter. That's why he was a superhero. It was like, this is what you want. You want that attitude. Pretty fighters are okay, but you want a ferocious fighter.
Yeah, pretty fighters are fun to watch. Floyd's fun. Look, as a person who appreciates what Floyd can do, the way he expresses himself, it's genius. It's genius boxing. When, a lot of people want to know, like, who's the best ever. I feel like you go on who got hit the least, who won the most fights and who got hit the least. If you look at that, Floyd's at the top of the heap by far. Like, no one's even close.
Yeah, and count the money.
Yeah. And count the money, yeah.
I got to say, he is the best. But
when you want to see, like, a destruction, the Mike Tyson fights were a completely different kind of an event.
Yeah, the thing is, I think people would love Floyd if he, had a little more pop on the punch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can hit you and get you and pop you and drop you and back you up and do all those good stuff and make you look bad. And I think, he's just people, fault him for not, when he hit it, it hurt.
Yeah, well, he always had hand problems. He had multiple hand breaks.
Yeah.
Which was very unfortunate.